Hi everyone, thanks so much for clicking on this video. With today's recording, I want to get a chance to kind of just showcase my journey with teaching myself how to draw, which started back in November of 2024, and we're currently now in February of 2025, which means that a few months have gone by now. And something I want to acknowledge is that I am proud of myself in seeing the growth in my skills, but also not giving up, because this is probably the fourth time in my life trying to teach myself how to draw. Out of other times, I would normally quit in a matter of weeks, and that was just because I just felt like I wasn't making any progress, or I just got really impatient and I would just give up. I remember going throughout my entire life telling people I wish I could draw, but I can't because I don't have those skills or I'm not talented in that capacity. But through this particular journey, it taught me a lot in terms of resilience, patience, and just recognizing that I have more potential than I could have possibly ever thought of having. With these 3 notebooks, it starts with day 1 and it goes up to day 72. I'm currently actively working on a 4th notebook as well. With these notebooks, I just got them from Daiso. They're really cheap stuff, so I don't feel any pressure of whether or not I'm going to be ruining the pages. The whole purpose of these notebooks were for me to just learn, and through learning, I have skills that I feel like has the potential of what I'm working towards to be able to do, which is to focus a lot on character design. And with that, we'll transition now to me going through these notebooks. I'm not totally sure how long it's going to take me to get through all 3 notebooks, but let's get started. I'm going to set these to the side for now, and we're going to get into the first notebook, which started back on November 13th of 2024. So at the beginning, I was just watching YouTube tutorials on how to draw heads. But we can see here, I was trying to learn how to do the Loomis method, something I'm still trying to figure out myself. But eventually I got a little comfortable with heads and I wanted to move on to eyes. And with the eyes, I was referencing a lot of Pinterest just because I don't have the visual library or like understanding of how to draw them. So it helps a lot to have references to kind of just learn in that capacity. And from there, I kind of just stuck between just drawing eyes and heads, trying to get those foundations down. And something that I want to acknowledge as well is that at the beginning of all this stuff, if you look at like the beginning of my sketches, I put a lot of pressure on the pencil just because I didn't know how to hold or use a pencil properly. But by the time I got to day 4, I realized that I could kind of just gently glide on the paper with the pencil rather than putting so much force to it. So you kind of see like a little growth already here on day 4. From there, day 4 again, this is me trying to draw self-portraits of myself. This one looked really cool. I really like this one a lot. This one's really horrendous. I actually really like this one as well. But we kind of see here, like I'm just drawing heads. This is me kind of just like deconstructing the body so that way I have a good understanding of how anatomy and proportions worked. Continuing trying to draw self-portraits. Something that I can acknowledge that is an issue that I still have today is that I can't really draw the same thing twice, right? Like when you do character designs, you are typically able to draw a character and have it look the same in multiple instances. But for me, even just like practicing drawing myself, every sketch was just a different version of myself. And then from day 5, I'm now trying to get into body, trying to understand like how this works. Day 6, I can acknowledge that I do see some progress and I do like some of these sketches. But even now, like body anatomy is just something I'm still working on. A lot of these are me just referencing Pinterest once more. Honestly, with all 3 notebooks, these are all just things I had gone to Pinterest just to help support me through this journey. We're now on day 7. Let's see, and then from there, we're now on day 8. With day 8, I decided I just want to go back and focus on learning how to draw heads again. So from there, there are some pages in these notebooks where I kind of just got complacent and lazy, and that's perfectly fine. Again, more bodies. We're now on day 11, and I feel a bit more comfortable with heads as well. I can see some sketches I made here that I'm really proud of, such as this one right here, as well as this one. Day 12 is when I realized, like, holy, I kind of have some skills in terms of drawing, and I felt like empowered and like encouraged with what I was able to do on day 12 at this point, right? Like, I think some of these look really great. Then we go to day 13 and the growth is still ongoing. From day 13, I went to day 14. I'm now trying to understand the structure of the body by drawing them in different angles, as well as using squares and cubes. From there, trying to break down the body some more, trying to get into like learning legs and arms. Continuing that progress of learning hands as well. Honestly, I feel like this is something I still struggle greatly. I have an idea of how to draw hands, but in terms of consistency, I would say like every so often I'll draw a good hand. It's not a reoccurring thing. And then for the last page on day 16, I'm trying to learn perspective with drawing cubes, something I'm still struggling with a lot as well. So that was the first notebook. It went from day 1 up until day 16. We're now going to go on to the second notebook. So with the second notebook, I decided I want to get started with day 17 with learning perspective a little bit more. So this one was just like a 1-point perspective, and this one is a 2-point perspective. All of these lessons and things I'm doing are all resources either on YouTube or even Pinterest. From there, continuing practicing what I've been enjoying doing a lot, which are drawing eyes and just headshots of different characters. Here's another portrait of myself. I think I really like this one a lot. This is me trying to draw some anime characters. We have Sasuke, Rei, as well as Lane. And here's me attempting to draw a full body character and understanding that with drawing, a lot of it has to do with shapes. And yeah, like it was just one I really like how it came out. Was able to draw a penguin as well. And you kind of see that with the sketches, they're starting to get lighter and lighter just because I get more comfortable with using the pencil. With this one, we're currently on day 20 now. From day 20, continuing practicing, more eyes. These are like really light as well. I can't really see them, so I'm trying to put them closer to the camera so you can see. Trying to get back into learning bodies again. I think this is like a lo-fi cat that I was sketching as I was listening to one of the recordings on YouTube. Oh, and this is a little dog I sketched out as well that I thought was really cute. From there, more sketches, a cute little chow, cute little dog. So at this point, we're now on day 29, which is like December 14th of 2024. Yeah, at this point, like comparing this from day 1, you could definitely see how much growth I've gone through with teaching myself how to draw. And it was honestly hard initially keeping this as a routine, something to do every day. But I think at some point when it started clicking in my head that I knew how to use a pencil and understanding shapes and lines was when I kind of got into the routine much easier, where it became a habit that I enjoyed rather than it being like a learning chore or experience. Let's see, day 35, cute little cat that I drew. Some references that I found on Pinterest. This is like a cute little angel character that I had drew. I probably spent a good hour or two. And as we can see here too, right, there's like multiple attempts. So this was like attempt 1, attempt 2, 3 is right over here. This is the 4th attempt. And eventually, after my 5th attempt, I was able to draw this character, which I really like. So that was something that I was doing a lot as well. Or this is rather like the beginning of that process of me doing multiple attempts of the same illustration, just to see the growth and change that I could potentially do in a matter of minutes. Same thing here, more multiple attempts. On day, let's see, this is day 36. Being able to sketch characters with a lot more details. This particular page right here, 37, was just all Pokemon. I came to realize I didn't have to only draw humans, right? I could get into like creature design as well. And I'm a big fan of Pokemon, and this is something that helped motivated me to continue drawing, despite the fact that I kind of did start feeling burnt out around day 38. But by mixing it up and drawing different things, it definitely helps with kind of like the learning process as well. And then towards the end of the last few pages, were just various different sketches. Really liking how this one turned out. It looks really cool. Same as these two as well. I remember putting a lot of effort on this particular page. This is day 39, which is December 26th of 2024. Trying to learn hands and muscles, legs, bodies, Mimikyu, something fun that I was able to sketch out. And then the last page for this particular notebook is day 44, December 31st of 2024. Kind of trying to draw some anime characters. I see Asuka here, Lane, among others as well. So that was the second notebook. And now we're going to go into the final one that I'll be showcasing here. This is now day 45. Always going back to the fundamentals, practicing drawing eyes. From eyes, back to the heads, seeing some progress. I really like this one right here. Some of them honestly aren't that great. It's a matter of just kind of like getting started with drawing, right? It's kind of like warm-ups where these things kind of look wonky, and eventually you're able to do something that's pretty decent. Some other characters from Pinterest. Day 49, a lot of different characters that I really like. A Chow, Impmon, Astro Boy, Terriermon. This is now in January 6th of 2025, so we're getting started into the new year. Entire spread of Impmon, one of my favorite Digimons. With these, this is me following one of my favorite artists. Their handle is, okay, their name is slipping near my mind at the current moment, but I was definitely referencing their art a lot to practice. Okay, I remember now. It's Chippy Jr. So check them out on Instagram. Chippy Jr. Character design is so cool, and I got inspired by them and decided to just sketch some of the characters that they had created. Day 53, me practicing, trying to just drawing desserts. Creature designs, these were like all plushies on Pinterest that I came across. From here, we go to day 54. With day 54, I also focus on kind of just sketching out Digimons. I'm really happy about this one. Took me a really long time, a few hours, but this is a character from a game called Clona. I'm not really familiar with the game, but I really like her design, and I was able to do a pretty good illustration of her. This is day 57, kind of having proportions and like shapes with heads a bit better. Going back to trying to learn anatomy, specifically ones that are more stylized. More portraits. Over here, I tried to draw a house. Looks pretty decent. Day 59. Now I'm getting into drawing actual animals rather than creatures from like Pokemon or Digimon. So at this point, I'm having a lot of fun with drawing. I feel motivated. I'm pushing myself to draw almost every day. Day 64. Here are some of the details of things I've drawn. And again, everything is through YouTube. Teaching myself, watching videos every day at this point. I'm like spending so much time trying to learn these concepts, and whenever I do have free time, rather than playing video games, I just watch videos, kind of like analyzing what different artists are doing, breaking down concepts, constantly going to Pinterest at this point, and kind of just like saving and archiving so many references that I can learn from. With this one, I can recall like it was just like a mannequin with the hood. I drew the hood and then I ended up adding additional details, adding a particular character to it, which I'm pretty happy about. We're getting towards the end now. So now we're at day 67 as well as day 68. And then with that, getting pretty close now. So this is day 71. Pretty happy with this page with some of the things I sketched out. And then with the last page, this was day 72. And this one's really cool because I wanted to focus on just like a page of kind of like high fantasy where we have a warrior, kind of like an elf girl, a castle, spooky tree, some creatures that would exist in this world. And this is where I'm going to be ending with showcasing my journey with drawing from day 1 to 72. I would eventually make a part 2 with this where I showcase the current sketchbooks that I'm currently working on. But I would hope that maybe there are some viewers who get a chance to watch this and feel motivated to learn how to draw. I am 31 years old, and I honestly felt like at 31, it felt like learning how to draw was too late, right? Like you're at the age now where you're like no longer young and your youth is ever passing and fleeting. But despite that, I decided to overcome and overlook that and just remind myself that age really doesn't matter and the journey of drawing can happen at any point in your life. With that, I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time to watching this video, and until next time, bye everyone.